Welcome to our latest Texas on the Potomac video podcast. I'm Rick Dunham, Washington Bureau Chief of the Houston Chronicle. Tonight, President Barack Obama is scheduled to have his first primetime news conference, and we've asked our readers to submit questions on Texas on the Potomac website, our Texas on the Potomac Facebook page, and on Twitter. And we've received dozens of questions from you out there. I wanted to repeat the 15 best questions that we've gotten thus far, and I will try to ask the best one at the news conference today and get answers to the rest of the questions from our readers. The best one so far is from Billy Bob, Texas, and it goes as this. In your campaign, you promised a review of the border fence. About 70 miles of the fence have not been built, most of it around parks and wildlife preserves in Texas and California. Will you continue building the fence pending completion of your administration's review, knowing that in a couple of months you may decide that the fence is ineffective or a waste of money? We have several questions about the state of the economy and about the Obama stimulus package. Paul Amos P. asked, have you considered sending bailout checks directly to the people whose home loans are in trouble? It seems that if they receive a check, that will enable them to pay off the loan in a lump sum that will contribute to the liquidity of loan institutions. It seems less risky to address the problem this way in light of the inability of some corporate CEOs to fully comprehend or even empathize with the dire situation our economy is in now. And JT Texas asks, why is it important to spend unprecedented taxpayer dollars on your economic stimulus plan and the TARP program when it will increase the deficit to historic levels? Why should the American people take your word that this will work? Mr. Big in Texas asks, why not give larger stimulus checks to the American people instead of super dollars to Wall Street, Detroit, and elsewhere, and let us decide how to stimulate the economy where we choose? Jackie Bennett in Houston asked, there are college graduates like myself who have a lot of debt and student loans. The interests on these loans vary, but a 6.5% to 7% interest rate for education is ridiculous. Can this issue be addressed? And Marcy Ridgway asks, how much harder are you finding governing than campaigning? Dr. Johnson wants to know about the nominations who've gotten into trouble over taxes. He says, you've said there's no double standard for your nominees who have been tax cheats or been lobbyists. You even stated that their removals from consideration shows this, yet you've stated that the ones who withdrew did so at their own choice. How can you say that you don't have a double standard when you stood behind them completely and absolutely right up to the moment of their withdrawals? And another point of view on the question of Tom Daschle and the others comes from Lonnie Lore Beer. Many people viewed your humble apology for letting the Tom Daschle situation play out as it did as a sign of strength and courage. For many, it was a refreshing break from the past administration who never admitted wrongdoing, no matter how wrong they were. Some people view the admission of mistakes as a sign of weakness. Obviously, you have the strength of character to know better. Have you always felt this way, or is it something you learned from others? And if so, whom? Karina V. asks about the banking industry problems and asks, will there be any attempt to reenact a bill similar to the Glass-Steagall banking regulation law that was sadly repealed in 1999? Bernie, Virginia wants to know about congressional redistricting. He says that the current White House Chief of Staff, Rahm Emanuel, and his then congressional colleagues condemned Tom DeLay over his mid-decade redrawing of Texas congressional districts. With this in mind, is there a conflict of interest at the White House, since your Chief of Staff now supervises the 2010 census that determines congressional seat allocation by state? What steps will he take to ensure that the census will not be politically manipulated to favor Democrats and to ensure that the public trusts the data? Well, we have a number of other questions, but I'll end with this slightly lighthearted question from Patrick Tracy. Why not invade the Cayman Islands? They have no military, and all the untaxed loot from America's richest thieves is stashed there and doing nothing productive at all. If we send the Navy down there and capture all the accountants, we could balance the U.S. budget and pay for the stimulus package. Well, thank you, Patrick. Thank you, Billy Bob, and everybody else from Texas and around the country who has taken part in this, and we'll try to get you answers to as many questions as possible. and tune in again for another Texas on the Potomac video podcast. Until then, thank you.